Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's round 2 of the Tier 3 console division here at WOR. My name's Andy Owen, and I'm joined yet again by our good friend from down under. It's your boy SJ. SJ, how you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Looking forward to this one. Obviously, last week was a very, very interesting race at Bahrain. This week, Jeddah, going to be a lot of overtakes here, mate. DRS is going to be the key here tonight, especially in that Sector 3. So, can Lurch take out the win again? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will, mate. It'll be interesting to see if the Red Bulls can rebound after last week's race where they dominated in qualifying. It was a front row lockout, of course, with both those guys sitting there on the front row and really not quite delivering the race from a strategy point of view. So it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back this week and, take qualifying form into the actual race itself. You mentioned the standings, so I'm just going to bring up on screen the current standings. So we'll start off with the constructors' standings. Red Bull do actually lead the way anyway, even though they had the front row lockout and weren't great in the race. They do lead the race. So ETA Paul and ETA Azam top the standings at present with 30 points. We've then got McLaren with the race winner Lurch picking up all the points for McLaren as Stretch didn't score last week. Third is Aston Martin with BXM and BRT Crowding on 12 points. 10 points then, it's the Slack Bus and Ultra Titan in the Alfa Romeo with the Alpha Tauri of Race Roller and Mizzy rounding out that top 10. Anything from note from some of the other teams there that didn't score points? Ferrari, Mercedes and Williams, SJ?
Well, yeah. Look, they're going to have a better week this week. You know, obviously last week was not obviously the week for them. It was all about the Red Bulls and the McLarens. Obviously, McLaren did a very, very good job there.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have to watch out for the other guys as well. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they go. But I think everything will be looking at the Red Bulls tonight to see if they are going to continue doing what they did last week, or if they're going to be surprised and spoiled again, or if Lurch is going to be able to cause more problems, or is it going to be someone completely different? We'll just wait and see.
Well, I'd like to see as we progress throughout the season, I'd like to see it become really competitive in terms of the championship. So new winners every week would be wonderful. I've got the drivers' standings up on screen now. Lurch leading the way, of course, after that win last week, 25 points. Second place, it was Ezem. He did get back up to second place in the end. We've then had a reserve. It was SHZ Scarface who finished in third place. I can't remember the team he was driving for last week.
Williams.
It was Williams, okay. So obviously that didn't count towards the Williams drivers' points, which is bizarre. However, we've then got 88 Paul in the Red Bull on 12, 10 points for the Alfa Romeo of Slapbus. The Aston Martin of BXM in 6th place with 8 points, 6 points for the Alpha Tauri of Race Roller, 4 for Aston Martin's BRT Crowding, 2 for the Alpine of Felix One, and of course Napple picking up that solitary point for the Haas team. You've already mentioned it, SJ. We're racing at Jeddah. Let's just take a quick look at Jeddah. There it is then. So it is the second longest track that we've got in the Formula One calendar. 6.1 kilometres, 3.2 miles. Not much elevation, SJ, but we make up for elevation with lots of turns.
Yes, you do. No, it's one of these tracks where it's very narrow. It can be a difficult place to overtake. Full concentration has to be there. You know, those DRS sectors in that Sector 3, it's phenomenal. A lot of places to overtake there. Then you've got obviously the last corner going onto the main straight where we're going to see battles. Someone probably coming on in the inside, some people going on a wide line to try and get the DRS going into the first corner. But I do believe that Jeddah is all about Sector 1. If you nail Sector 1, you are going to have fantastic quality. If you don't, then it's going to be a struggle for most of these drivers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And Sector 1, you're absolutely spot on. Sector 1 is insane, and it is one of my favourite sectors on the whole Formula 1 calendar. We've got cars leaving the garage, SJ. Let's jump in. Oh, my word. Let's reboot the capture card, shall we? We're not playing Call of Duty. There we go.
Yeah, more technical glitches as always, but we love to see it. The Faker's out, ET8 Paul's out, Finn Bob's out, NLR Felix Owen, Asm the one that is the one to watch out for this week, and TTM JT all 40 is out, Mr. Stretch is out, and as we love those names, Lurch and Stretch. I'm never going to forget that. That is absolutely a quality name.
Yes.
NLR Mizzy. So we've got everyone out. Only 18, unfortunately, 2 missing, which is disappointing, but still 18 on the grid. And I'm sure this is going to be electrifying, as we do know, Andy, that Saudi is with the real Formula 1 as well. So they've timed that to perfection, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And having watched some of the free practice sessions today in the IRL Formula 1, I fear for Lewis. He didn't seem to be showing his best form today. There seemed to be a few problems with the car. George had a better run in free practice 2. And the old timer on the grid, Mr. Alonso, leading the way in free practice 2 with the quickest time today.
Yeah, don't tell me too much. I haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. Anyway, on to non-IRL things then. We have got TTMJT040 heading his way to start the first hot lap of the day. Take it away, SJ.
Okay, TTM coming to the first corner, then to the second, taking it nicely there, riding the curves. Now this is the part where Sector 1, you have to get this right. Coming up, you brake a little bit, ease into the corner, watching out for the wall, getting very, very close to the wall. And here's the next part here, coming up very, very careful, getting close. Do not ride that curve coming on the exit, otherwise you will go straight. Very well done there by TTM, keeping it all within track limits. Getting on to the power now, coming into this loop, going all the way around on the left, keeping it very nicely tight there, keeping it tight on the right hand side, second line going really tight, move over to the left so you get a really good exit coming out here now. Yes, greatly done there, running over the cabs, getting so close, get so close to the wall. Then here comes the DRS, 49% on the ERS, blowing as much as he can. He's probably going to ease off onto the right, pull into the left as much, riding the curb on the exit, getting as much traction as you can onto the final corner. The DRS for the next part. Now this is the part where it can lose or you can win your lap here. Does he go a wide line? No, he goes quite tight. Then a good exit, getting close to the wall, getting onto the DRS, going to cross the line for the first lap this evening is a 1:26.445 by TTM JT040. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah, and he's just been bested by Finn Bob and by Fake TB with a 26.1 for Finn Bob in the Mercedes. The Haas of Fake TB with a 26.2. Last week's pole sitter in the Red Bull. The Red Bull is 26.3, but then there's another Red Bull, a 26 flat. What a time that is from ET8 Paul. Red Bulls looking strong again in qualification.
Yeah, they are. They're really showing what they can do. And Stretch is actually invalidated there, so he's going to have to go again. We've also got a Ferrari coming round as well.
Supply Raptor.
Supply Raptor, yeah, it's 6 or 4.5 tenths between P5 and P1, so a very, very good lap there by ET8 Paul. As we saw last week, though, ET8 Paul was in the wings. There with Asm. Is it going to be different this time? Is it going to be him that's going to be the one that's pushing everyone forward? Because he did drop off right at the end when Lurch did get that move in. So it'll be very interesting to see. But that's a very impressive lap to start off with a 26 flat at the moment, but a few invalidations there, which I'm sure we were going to see. This is a very, very difficult track, but it can be very, very exciting and very entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, for sure it can. There seems to be quite a gap between the top guy here, Paul, and some of the guys in the 27s down the bottom. We've got Slapbus, Supply Raptor, and Ultra Titan. So a couple of slow Alfa Romeos and a slow Ferrari so far. I say slow. Still, to be in the 27s is pretty rapid. We do have Talentless. He's actually just about to set a lap. Stretch has just started again. So Stretch actually 0.6 better off than Ultra Titan was. Coming round this final corner. Gets very close to the wall. Pedal to the metal though now. And DRS wing wide open all the way down to that start-finish line to post a 26.3 and go 6th fastest overall. Plenty of time left in the session though, SJ, for some of these guys to get themselves back out again. We've got the other actual... oh, no, he's just had to pull into one side. Possibly... No, he's all right. He didn't get in the way of BXM. BXM was on an outlap. Next is Talentless. He's actually just invalidated as well. He's got to go round again. Mizzy, you're on board with NLR Mizzy, who actually just took a huge corner cut. Let's just see if he keeps racing, because that's a very quick time at 31.7. Hasn't invalidated.
No.
Hasn't invalidated, even though he took a very, very wide line. I don't know whether he's going to back out.
He's running low on fuel as well at the moment, so Talentless is coming. He'll go again. He's invalidated, so he'll go again. We've got now Joe that's joined. So we've now done 19, so one short of 20, which is pretty good still. Felix won on an outlap, but yeah, don't know about Mizzy. He's this looks like this could be a lap here.
Yeah, interesting considering he definitely had some kind of track limits problem coming in that the turn at the end of Sector 1, start of Sector 2, where you really can... Yeah, he's dipped into the pits. So that's good. Integrity is retained. Talentless then. Talentless currently sat P16 without a lap. He's just got himself through Sector 1 with a 31.7. So, an okay start. Seems to hug the outside line of the loop down at the start of Sector 2. There's a stationary McLaren kicking around here somewhere. There it is. Oh, and there we go. The McLaren just sat in the middle. No yellow flags were being waved there. Interesting. But that almost, has that caused any damage to the front of that? It hasn't caused any damage to the front of Mercedes, but definitely with Lurch, I think it was. Yeah, Lurch just sat in the middle of the track, having span. That was very close to causing some serious problems. FRT BXM is now up in 8th in the Aston Martin with a 26.5. So quite a few gaps, SJ, so far in this session. What's your thoughts so far on the first few minutes that we've seen?
Well, I'm quite surprised to see Azam. Azam's not up there on the top. He's actually in the top 5 at the moment. So we've got a few different drivers in there, like Finn Bob up in that P2, Damien Carriel up in that P3, Blake TB as well up in their P4, and obviously Stretch and Azam in P5 and P6. But I think the main thing is you don't want, as we're just seeing now, you don't want too many cars out on this track, because if a mistake happens, it's extremely difficult to try and get better or try and get on a better lap. It's going to be very congested as well, even though there's still a lot of time. There's 7.5 minutes to go, and you've got probably, we'll say, there's 7 there, there's 7, 8, 9, 14, it's just about 15 cars still on track, so very congested, but it's an interesting time. The question is, can Finbog get that 10th? Can he get that 10th down on ET8 Paul? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, it is. And we've just had our first weather report from Ultra Titan. Now, if you thought this track was dangerous in the desert of Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah, wait until it rains in the race, SJ, because we are going to expect some indifferent conditions, let's say, as ET8 Paul does invalidate on his next flying lap. So we've got rain, mate. Damien Curiel is currently 3rd fastest as well, 26.1. A couple of guys posting some better times now. But yeah, what do you think about that then, SJ? Some rain in the race.
Well, yeah, more and more drama. And talking about rain as well, actually invalidated. ETA and Finbar both invalidated both of their laps. So they're going to have to go again. Damien Kiriel, he'll be the one to watch out for at the moment because he is now on a flyer. So, Andy, I'll let you take it away with Damien Kiriel if you can get that name out of your mouth.
Yeah, Damien Courier. Here he is then. He goes through this part of Sector 1. He's already navigated that tight left-hand turn, which can catch somebody out as ETA goes 26-1. Red Bull out in front, 1 and 2 yet again. 6,000th between them. But we're on board with the Williams then. Damien down towards the long left-handed loop. He's over a 10th up so far. Challenging for that lead. This looks like it could be a tight one. As we go down through Sector 2, in towards the tight right left-hander, keeps it clean, keeps it away from the wall quite nicely as well. Some good downforce on that car. But down through the second of the DRS zones, this is where the guys are absolutely flying. The quickest they'll be on track, down towards the left-hander again, which could challenge track limits. Keeps it clean yet again. Good driving from this gentleman, Damien, all the way down the DRS section, down that final long straight, which banks towards the left. Into the tight left-hander to take the last corner. Steers clear of the wall. He's going to get a little toe as he... No, the Mercedes is off towards the right-hand side of the track. He takes the left and he posts a 25.8 to go top of the chart so far. What a lap that is, SJ.
Yeah, it's very, very quick, and I was just talking about ETA Azmi. Must have heard me talk there because I did say that he was down in P6. But he is really impressed there. But Damien Carroll taking a 25.8. That is very impressive. 2.5 tenths quicker than obviously P2 at the moment. But still a long way to go, and still things can change here. As I'm just on board with Fake TB that seems to be going very, very slow. He's just moved over to the side. We've also got CPI Napple that's just about to cross the line. Yeah, no, he's not. He's coming into the pits.
He ran out of ERS. JT, TTM JT's on a lap. He's coming down the back straight now. Down towards that left-hander where the final corner is. And you can lose so much time down there. He's not on a flying lap. He's already at 1 minute 30, so he's going to have to dip into the pits to refuel. He's got a flashing light. Supply Raptor, 2 seconds down. He's not on a roller. Race roller, he's not either. Mitzi, 5 tenths and an invalidation. Niall Gio, 3 seconds down. It looks like a quiet time out on track. What's our boy? No, Talentless. He dips into the pits. He's going to have to come back in and go out again. So it's looking like at the minute, unless Stretch is on a lap, which he is not, he's invalidated as well. The guys are struggling at the minute with invalidations.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a few. NR Mizzy, Race Roller, Supply Raptor. Looks like he's just going to go into the pits as well. And obviously now we've got Stretch. And the one thing I'm real, we saw earlier, Stretch having that spin, it's not been able to get the momentum because he's sitting down in P18. But we did see this last week in Bahrain. There was a driver at the back and he pushed himself all the way up to top 3, top 4. So still time there. But not really, you're not going to want to be out there when all these guys are out, especially with 3 minutes to go, as it's going to get very, very congested. But Damien Carroll, man, that is a fantastic, that 25.862. That is quick. Can Azam and Paul, or Fake, cause any more upset with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go, Andy?
Well, we've, just as I'm sat here looking through the times, Finn, Bob and Stretch have got an identical time. So you know how I said it was getting... a little bit tighter. There is now between P2 and P11, we've got 3.5 tenths between those 10 cars. That's tight racing. So I can imagine over the course of the next 2.5 minutes, we're going to see some changes. There's only, in fact, between P4 and P7, we've only got 14 thousandths between those 4 cars. It is tight, my friend.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So that's what we love to see. 2 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Get your comments in. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you get predictions in? Who do you think is going to take P1? Chat's in. at the moment, so get involved. This is Tier 3 at Jeddah, round number 2. At the moment, we've got Damien Carriel in P1, ETA Azam in P2, and his fellow teammate of ETA Paul in P3 at the moment.
Word.
So these guys are the ones that are leading the way. But we do have some guy on a lap at the moment, and it's FRT BMX, and he is in as well, so another invalidation at the moment.
Yeah, it was an invalidation, and he was coming up on Lurch, who was on a slow outlap, and honestly, I don't know how he got his car through the gap. That could be seen. I don't know whether he was invalidated before, but he's certainly invalidated afterwards, and he is going to dive into the pits. He's had his lot. BXM then, into the pits. That's him done. He's the only guy now that's done. Everybody else out on track, and it's going to be Lurch who's going to set us off on our way for this final stint. There is a Williams at the very back of this. I don't know whether that Williams at the very back is going to get himself round in time. That might be, it might be Damien at the very, very back. I'm not sure. But you're on board with one half of the best named team in Formula One, Stretch, and you're on with Lurch, my friend, as he powers his way through Sector 1.
Yep, he is. I love the name there. Get a little bit warm. Interesting. He hasn't set a time at all, so this is his last chance to set a time, and he's hit the wall. Over. It is over. He's hit the wall there. I don't think he's going to be happy with that. Seems to be struggling in Saudi tonight. Let's have a look, see how he gets on for the rest of the lap, but we will be jumping on board with the rest because the guys behind him are the ones on the final. And there you go, we've got the first retirement there. So FRT is done and dusted. Lurch, is he going to be able to better his time? Is he going to be able to push himself up? He has gone into the wall a few times. It might have been a glitch, be temporary. We'll see what happens, but this is it. Nail Geo is the last one to finish, and he finishes in P15 at the moment. So here comes Lurch round the last corner, and then it's all over to you, Andy. Oh, he gets a little bit of a snap coming out of the exit, and he's decided to pit.
Yeah,
no, he
he's
hasn't.
had enough.
Yes, he has. That's done. So it's over to you, Andy.
Next car across the lines, the Alpine of Felix 1. Felix 1 takes himself up to P5 with a 26-1. Slap bus is out. He's crashed in Sector... he's crashed at the start of Sector 3. Over the line now, we've got coming. It must be Talentless, surely. It isn't. Talentless is on a lap. It was Finbob. Finbob goes fastest with a 25.7. Talentless is still out there on a lap. Ultra Titan finishes in P15. Doesn't better his position. Supply Raptor on his way down. We've got the two Red Bulls, have we? One Red Bull coming towards the line now. It's Azam. Does not improve his time. Where's Damien? Here comes Damien then. He's invalidated. He's not going to improve either. Fake Man dives into the pitch. Supply Raptor still going well. Does get better. Takes himself up to P5. Supply Raptor of MRL fame on a Sunday night, North American League. What's this car coming down the track now? It's Niall. Niall doesn't improve. And that looks like it's your lot, SJ. It's going to be the Mercedes on pole. It's Finbob with a 25.7. Three of our drivers got into the 25s in the end as ET8 Paul put down a 25.8 as well. Look how close it is between some of these guys. That's insane.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Damien had a bag, and unfortunately he didn't. He had that in validation, and that pushed him down to P3. ET8 Paul actually getting a better one over his teammate there. In 88 Azam in P4 to P2, and Finbob obviously not heard of this guy. First race this week, and he is up in the storm there, taking out P1 in Jeddah. Andy,
yeah, fantastic lap from him. I wish I'd been on board with it, but you can't catch them all, guys. You can't catch them all. So here we go then. Here's your starting grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here in WOR Console Tier 3. It's Finbob who takes pole position. Joining him on the front row, it's ET8 Paul and the Red Bull, both in the 25s with 25.7 and 25.8 respectively. 25.8 also for Damien Carré in the Williams. Joining him on the second row is last week's pole sitter. It's ET8 Azam and the Red Bull with the Ferrari of Supply Raptor and the Haas of Fake TB on roll 3. P7, it's Felix 1 in the Alpine with the McLaren of Stretch, last week's winner in P8. CPI Nappled in the Haas P9 with P10 JT040. Talentless goes in P11 with P12. Stack with his teammate in Race Roller and Mizzy in the AlphaTauris. 2 Aston Martin stack then in whoever those drivers' names are. As the it's BXM and AN other. That will be a top thing. And there it is, mate. There's the rain. Not very heavy rain. Don't see many puddles in the paddock there, in the pit lane. But I would imagine it's going to be wet enough for those intermediate tyres to kick us off.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, if I was saying that Sector 1 is difficult in the dry, well, in the wet, this is going to be intense. Did see there, though, that Lurch didn't get a lap out. Is that the reasons why? Because he knows it's raining. So we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, this is going to be a slippery race in these conditions. Is it going to rain through the whole session? We'll have to wait and see. But I'm sure it's still going to be very, very exciting. And it's good to have someone at the front there different. So we've got a different name that we can look at. But don't underestimate the Red Bulls. They are still there. They're the only team that were in the top 5 for the qualifying. An impressive P2 and P4. So the Red Bulls are on it once again, Andy.
Yeah, leading the constructors and positioned quite nicely at the beginning of this race. Just a little bit more info, info in the chat about the weather. Light rain until the last third. So while we're just having our quick break, I'm just going to run one quick advert. I'll keep my eye on the screen. Change it back.
He wants to listen to Iron Man League.
There you go. Well, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it's still raining. We're not quite at the start of the race yet. The drivers will no doubt be scurrying around the cars, trying to get their setups perfected, ready for this slippery, wet race. Trying to get the strategy for the race clean as well, because I would imagine, SJ, with the rain progressively getting lighter towards the end. And here we go. Just as we say it, it's 5 lights on a Thursday night. Out they go, and it's showtime here in WOR. Tier 3 has a great start by the Williams, but being challenged on the inside by the Red Bull. My word, the Red Bull of ET8 Paul actually drops down a place. The Williams did get a good start, but Finn Bob in the Mercedes does indeed maintain his lead of the race into Sector 1. Places changing up and down the grid. We do have yellow flags. It's full yellow flags. It looks like is it a virtual safety car? Must be a virtual safety car. Don't see any... is there damage to somebody? I would imagine somebody must have damage.
Now Geoff has lost his front wing at the back there, so yeah, he is just looking at Mizzy as well, just to see if those two have come together. And there you go, there's VSC coming through now. So conditions, absolutely, yeah, he's got no front right plate, so it's definitely a look to see Mizzy and Gio pitting. But the hard thing here, Andy, as we know, driving the conditions is one, but also to see. That's going to be the question. The braking point is going to be spot on. Yeah. Visibility is absolutely shocking. As you can only see those lovely red flashing lights at the back there, so to basically let you know that there's a car in front of you. So Good start for Finn Bob and Damien as well. The two Red Bulls, just looking at the position changes as well, have actually switched. So ET8 Paul has dropped down one, and ET8 Azam stays in the same position. But BXMM, 6 places, he's moved up there as well. So a lot of bit of a jump there. But MLR Mizzy losing 5, Galgalot losing 2, Cowding losing 2, TCM J204 losing 5, and I think we are going green. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah, we're going green again, mate, and here we go. We are going to see at least 3 cars dip into the pits. I did see damage on Napple as well, but it's Finn Bob, Damien Carell, Paul, Azam, Supply Raptor, Fake TB, Felix, Stretch Talentless, and Race Roller down the top 10. Down into turn 1, then we go. Mercedes still leading the way from Williams. Looks like a good restart. We see 5 cars into the pit lane. Napple, BXM, Crowding, Mizzy, and Niall Gio all into the pits to get damage replaced on their wings, no doubt. Decent restart, though. I was expecting the worst. And it's turned out okay in the end. Where do we see, then, from the first couple of laps? I know it's difficult because we've had a virtual safety car. Where do we see people trying to make moves later on down in this race as it gets drier?
It's tough, isn't it? Because like there's no DRS. It's all about ERS management, and obviously skill. As you can see, Damien at the tenths behind Finn Bob. Finn Bob just seems to be pulling away a little bit, maybe using a little bit of that ERS, which is really, really good. ET8 Paul and Azam will probably work very well together. As you can see, a move going on here between and Stretch. Race Roller does get past. So we're seeing a few moves. There's not much gaps in between at the moment. Around about 6.5 tenths, 3.5 tenths within the top 3, top 4. So I reckon we're going to start to see some moves around about lap 5, lap 6. Or it depends if they make mistakes, then they'll try and go for it. But you can't make mistakes here, especially in wet conditions as well, as the track is very, very wet. It's inters at the moment. We'll obviously have to keep an eye on it, but you are saying that it is going to get dry up. So, but when? That's going to be the question. And how many people are using a wet setup or a dry setup here, which can be very interesting as well. But Damien has pulled in the gap on Finn Bob for the time being. Had a little bit of a squirty movement there, 3.5 tenths, so he is being quite closely to Finn Bob. But just keep monitoring that because there has just been a yellow now.
Yeah, we've got our first DNF, and it is Fake TB is out of the race. Is he DNF'd in the pits? No, he hadn't. He DNF'd on that tight left turn halfway through Sector 1. We saw it claim a couple of cars today in IRL racing. It's a virtual safety car again, so no need for a full safety car. So interestingly, remember last week we didn't have any safety cars, certainly no full safety cars last week. This week, drive-through for Mizzy. That's unfortunate for Mizzy. He's got a drive-through. There's Napple got a drive-through as well.
Just looking now, penalties. Yeah, 2 DTs, Napple and Mizzy. And we're going green again. And Azam has got a little bit closer to his teammate there, but 3.5 tenths at the moment. And Talentless as well in P7. And that's really a shame for Fake TV because he was sitting in that P8 position just behind Race Roller. So out of the points, unfortunately, and it's the first DNF of the night. Are we going to start to see some moves at the moment? It just seems to be that these guys are just going to keep the momentum going. Is Damien going to make a move on Finn Bob? As you can see, the acceleration of Finn Bob down that main straight, he has seriously got some acceleration down there. But Damien getting a little bit closer as we see at the moment. But there is a bit of a gap between Damien and ET8 Paul, around about 7.5 tenths, but he does bring that gap down very, very slowly again.
As Finn Bob gets all out of shape, and that's put Damien right on his gearbox into that tight left-hander that Fake TB DNF'd at, and he's right on that rear wing now. What we said last week about Bahrain and some of the more elite guys is that patience was always the way that you could play it. ERS management and patience. Now, at this track, patience becomes even more important. Let's not even talk about the weather. Just patience at this track as Napple and Mizzy both come through to do their drive-throughs.
There's a move. Slap Boss is going around the outside of Race roller, they're still going side by side. They're in the wet. Could be extremely difficult. And Slapbus just gets out in front. Back to you, Andy. Sorry.
Yeah, good job there from Slapbus on Race Roller. Deep in Sector 2. That's just the start of Sector 2, should I say. Interesting stuff from him. Damien now 2/10 to the good. Really gaining some good pace down towards that tight left-hander as we begin to start Sector 3. Down the long drag towards the final straight. This is where we could see some move. He's burning that ERS. Finbob is burning an ERS to try and defend, but he's going to go and have a look round the outside, down towards that final turn. Then we go. The Williams round the outside takes the long way round. Does he get the move done? He does not. Little bit of wheel tapping, though, between the two. That might give the Williams the drive down the final straight. It's less than a tenth then, all the way down, but the inside line is held by Finbob. Can he make that stick, though, the Williams? He can. Gets himself in front. What a move that is by Damien. Superb confidence and skill in these conditions. But what that battle in between the front two has done, it's dragged everybody down to Supply Raptor in 5th within a few tenths of each other, SJ.
Yeah, some great driving there, actually. I just saw Damien going around the line round and having that little bit of a snap and did go wheel to wheel. Then you see Finbob just moving over to the left side. So some really good racing by those guys. Really well done. But his exits, Finbob, are better than Damien at the moment. He can lead. Just going to keep on board this because I don't think he is going to be in lead for long because here comes Finbob. Look at the exit that he's got. He is right behind him. 2.5 tenths. And we've got a yellow. And BMX is out.
Yeah, BXM has fallen foul on the same corner that Fake TB failed at. On that tight, quick left-hander after turns 1 and 2, he's bought a ticket to the stands, and that's where he's going to sit. But here's Finbob. Finbob's looking to buy himself a ticket to the top step of the podium. He's right on the tail as they head down towards that final long straight, the long left-hander, which deals down towards the final turn. Burning battery is Finbob, and again, not burning battery this time is Damien, but Finbob does take the position. Finbob out in the lead again in the Mercedes.
Oh, Damien's got a really good coming out, and here we go again on the main straight now. Finishing up, this is fantastic to see in the wet conditions. Damien and Finbob going at it. We've also seen Azam swap with his teammate as well, so he's going to want to get in the mix of this. And look at this, is a different exit. They're both taking different lines. Finbob right behind Damien in the wet. Lovely to see. Clean racing to the max. Fantastic driving there by Damien and Carol. But I tell you something though, Andy, Finbob is getting better exits. Oh, we have a little bit of a snap there. And Finbob is getting better exits than Damien, which is actually bringing him closer to him every time. But you've got to be careful now because Azam is ready to pounce. He is only 2.5 tenths behind Finbob. So if Finbob does make that mistake, Azam will gain at that, as you can trying to get better traction and get a better racing line coming up. Finbob still going on the back, and I'm sorry to say, I think we're going to again go to the lap 7 as we can see Finbob getting a better exit. He's going to go for the move. He goes over the side. Daniel's made a mistake and they're going side by side. Azam is just waiting for a mistake here to happen. The yellow at the moment into the pits, but Damien has lost out and Finbob is through again. But is Damien going to get back on the back of Finbob again on a better exit as we see Finbob just pulling away 3.5 tenths. Damien burning the ERS. As you can see, they are burning the ERS on this main straight in Sector 3 at the moment. And let's have a look. 2-4 and the Red Bull going at it as well by Raptor and ET8 Paul. Oh, a little bit of a by Raptor. Drama going on here. Fantastic to see, and it's not over. I think Damien's going to go for the move in turn 1. No,
decides against it, but don't discount that Ferrari of Supply Raptor. I know he's racy and he's pacey, and he'll be eager to try and get himself past these two Red Bulls. What I have noticed, SJ, is that we do not have any rain falling from the skies. So now the interesting part from a strategy point of view is, when's that crossover to the slicks going to be? Who's going to be the first car to blink? ETA Azam's all over the back here of that Williams of Damien. ET8 Paul and Supply Raptor in close pursuit. Talentless has got himself past Felix 1, and now he's closing the gap. It was 2 seconds, it's now 1.5. He's getting himself into the mix. ERS management is at the forefront of my mind as well, as 68% for Finbob, more for Damien, Azam, and indeed ET8 Paul.
Yeah, 100%. And you're now starting to see Finbob getting momentum now, but Damien has really pulled in on him at 6.5 attempts. He's burning a little bit of that ERS. Serious beef. But here we go. Azam looks like he's going to ready to pounce, and he's going to make a move. Action at the moment, and we've also got action from behind. So you've also got Supply Raptor that is going to go and make the move on the Red Bull. Does he make the move? Does he go for the switch? He goes wide, keeps very close there, and he doesn't make the move at the moment. Azam getting very to Damien, but Finbob keeping the lead at the moment. So it seems to me he's now starting to keep the momentum. But Supply Raptor is going to go for the move on ET Ball. Goes on the right hand side. Yes, he does. He has to try and control the car in these wet conditions, and he's up in P4. And ET8 Paul is still going to go on the side, going into turn 1. Who's going? And it's going to be Supply Raptor. Oh! Push off track. Oh, a little bit shoving and nudging there, and they're keeping there. But ET8 Paul is right, and Supply Raptor doesn't get the move done. This is starting to heat up between the Red Bull. Clip. Ferrari goes off the side. ET8 Paul is now side by side with Raptor. Does he get the move? Yes, he does. Oh, that will be interesting, Andy. But ET8 Paul is back up in front in P4.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of a submission into the stewards there against one or the other of the Red Bull or Ferrari. That battling between them, that wheel banging, taking each other off track, has made a 2.4 second gap now between the two Red Bulls. It's Finbob in the Mercedes out in front. 0.3 is the gap now. Back to Damien in the Williams. ET8 Azam 0.6 back in the first of our two Red Bulls, burning his ERS to try and stay in contention. The track looks like it's drying all the time. It looks like we might see a dry line developing pretty soon. It wouldn't surprise me within the next couple of laps if we see somebody gamble on a slick set of tyres, SJ.
Yes, and I think we're going to see... I'm just going to see if he's got damage, but we're going to see a move here because Finbob loses out to Damien, but the exit that Finbob has is just right beside him and right behind him at the moment. Up there, Damien out in front, and you've also got Talentless as well, which is getting into the mix on Supply Raptor. But yeah, that gap there from ET8 Paul to Azam is 2.6. That is not the gap that you're going to want for your teammate at the moment because, well, there's going to be interesting to see what happens in the pits when they do their pit strategy, as like you're saying. But at the moment, all on the back of Supply Raptor, and he's going for the move on the outside. One get involved in this, and they're going to go for the double here, and Phoenix 1 gets past as well. Wow. So there is problems with Supply Raptor. Does he have damage? I'm just trying to see if he's got a front plate missing or damage to that front wing. Can't see at the moment as we're going so fast. No, it doesn't seem to be any damage, but it could be internally, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that one. So the gap now between Talentless and Paul is 2.1 seconds, so that fighting Supply Raptor really has impacted his race. He's dropping right back, so you're right, there may well be some damage that isn't particularly visible, but that's just meant that we've got some bigger gaps now between 4th and 3rd and 4th and 5th as places exchange. We've seen our first car gamble, lurch, one of the McLarens from last week. He's thrown the hard tyre on lap 9 of 25. None of the leaders dip into the pits. They continue going. Interesting to see from a strategy point of view, after last week's mistake on strategy between the Red Bulls, who's going to make the move first into the pits as Supply Raptor, speaking of moves, makes a move on Felix, doesn't make it stick though, into turn 1, made the move, lost the move, and now he's under pressure from the slap bus in the Alfa Romeo. Cracking start to this race. First 10 laps under our belt, SJ. We've had a magnificent start. 3 DNFs, Mizzy, BXM, and the fake TB, but so far so good for everybody else.
Yeah, it is, and it's really starting to heat up at the moment. Supply Raptor. He goes from the outside and goes that move, and too slow for me, I need to get past. And so Supply Raptor is in serious trouble. He needs to make the move there or make the pits because he's now being falling down the pipe. And there you go, race 1. better grip, seems to be no damage to Race Roller, but Supply Raptor's going to go for a better line on the right hand side to stay with him. He's still got some pace in that Ferrari at the moment. Doesn't seem to have the turning ability. As you can see there, he loses out by a couple of attempts on his cornering. But getting very interesting at the top as well. These guys have been swapping around like dunking a digestive in a cup of cocoa. Damien Carroll in the P2, Azam in P3. They're your top three at the moment. And like you said, who is going to make the first jump on to the pits? I would say it would be Paul that would make the jump here. The track is still wet, but it will start to dry up. Now, how long is it going to take? That's going to be the question. And is Finn Bob going to come under extreme pressure from Azam? Because he's getting closer and closer by the minute, Andy.
Yeah, he really is. And interestingly, I think we should just keep our eye on that gap between Lurch and Stretch. So 5.7, 5.8 seconds at the minute. That will give us a good indication as to whether the dry tyre is the better tyre right now. I'm sure the race engineers will be in the ears of the drivers, letting them know what that gap looks like. It is growing between Lurch and Stretch. We know Stretch had a quick race last week, and he's probably got a slipstream on crowding at present. But yeah, that gap grows to 6.8. It's grown by a second in less than half a lap. So maybe it's not quite the crossover period just yet. That might have been a bit early. But again, having probably had to pit due to damage, probably made the right choice in terms of his longer stint ambitions in this race, SJ.
Yeah, I've actually just grabbed on board with him at the moment, and he took it a little bit wide going into the last corner before getting onto the grid straight, and he's lost a second already. As you can see, he's snapping there all over the place. So, yeah, definitely not ready for the tyres. I reckon maybe 1 to 2 more laps before the change is going to be made. Because you can see there, he was 6.8, he's now 8.5 behind his teammates. So it's definitely not the time. But at the moment, we've got a yellow, and we've got going for the move on Damien again. And I cannot wait to see Azam get involved in this. He has been so patient. He is in a very position. The Red Bull are in a very, very good position as well. Still no moves going on at the moment. Finn Bob make the move going down the main straight, and Azam is just going to be watching on as a spectator. They're going side into turn one. Who's got the best braking point at the moment? And the Mercedes gets the move done round the outside, but the Williams sticks extremely close, getting very close over to the left-hand side, going side by side, but no, he pulls out, and you would definitely right here. You do not want to hit that barrier. You have to really put the brakes on. But the battling between P1 and P2 is phenomenal. And the
VSC.
Andy.
VSC. Now, what's caused the VSC? Looks like it might be the McLaren. It is. It's Lurch. Lurch has gone round on those hard tyres at the beginning of Sector 3. So, are we going to see... I think it's too far for some of these guys to go round. We've got some drivers dipping into the pits. We've got 3 drivers dipping into the pits, and that's a rear end from Stretch into crowding. Doesn't look like it's giving him a penalty. So crowding, Stretch, Nail Gillo, and possibly Lurch if he's got some damage. Diving into the pits. No damage for Lurch, it seems. It's miraculous that he's got away with damage there. But here we go then. Crowding, Stretch on the medium tyre. Nails put a fresh set of inters on. That might be an error from him. Maybe he's just not overly confident that this this slick tyre can keep him alive, for want of a better phrase, for the next few laps.
Well, yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Every single driver from P1 all the way down is on those inters, not making a stop either. So, interesting to see there. Could it be a strategy problem here? You know, because obviously if it comes into it and the track really starts to dry up, then Stretch is going to be in a really good position. And
yeah, we're going to see the first of the Red Bulls. Well. First of the Red Bulls has dived in. It's Paul who's going to be the first Red Bull to dive in.
What's the tyre? This will be the question. This will be the one to watch out for.
It looks like a medium tyre to me. Yes, there it is. It's the medium tyre that's gone onto the Red Bull then. He's followed in by Supply Raptor, obviously who'd had a bit of a rough time. It looks like a fresh set of No, it's a fresh set of intermediates for the Ferrari. So he's gone intermediates again. Had to get a new front wing, so he did have some damage. Oh, he's actually, because he's put those on, he's decided to retire in the pits because he'd not changed the tyre. So that's unfortunate for Supply Raptor. He's in the pits. as we see an Alfa Romeo of Ultra Titan go sideways into the pit lane. What's he going to throw on?
That's so unfortunate for Supply Raptor because he was in the points. I don't understand of the retirement. That's unless that is side pod damage internally. That's disappointing because it's still in the points and obviously there's one up there tonight. So disappointing to see him retire, Andy.
Yeah, it might just be because he'd not changed the tyre on the car and he would have had to do yet another pit stop afterwards. So we're over halfway, SJ. We're a lap 13 of 25 now. As it stands, we've got the Mercedes of Finbob leading the way down to the final corner then. We are back racing, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Damien then in the Williams in P2, 2 tenths behind. They're quickly catching CPI Napple there. CPI Napple looks like he might dip into the pits. Yes, he does. We're going to see strategy call. Damien and Azam both dip into the pits to get the slick tyre. So Finbob now has to get the foot down, has to get the pedal to the metal and make sure that he makes a best effort in terms of this in-lap, because surely he's going to come in next, SJ.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these guys making strategies here, continuing to go. So is Talentless, so is Felix and so is Racewell. Felix and Talentless having a lovely here. The question will be, will Finbob get out in front of, the leading car, which will be Damien Carriel. So is he going to be able get the overcut or the question here at the moment, because it still does look a little bit damp in on this track. We'll still have to wait and see of obviously the times. I'm just looking at stretch at the moment. He's 1.968 behind crowding on the same tyres. It is dropping down slightly. It could be the change now. Finbob 7.8 seconds in front of Talentless. But Felix 1 is putting the pressure on Talentless at the moment. And this could be the first point to get into the pits. Who's going to make that jump? And Felix 1 is... And DRS is enabled to go. It's dry. And this is going to be great for Felix 1. And he should get into the pits, but Racewell is just behind here, and he'll be getting a very good slipstream. Does Felix 1 get the move done? Here we go. We're going to get burning it. Talentless has a little bit less. Felix 1 going around the outside. Talentless spending as much as he can. Look at Greg, he's going all the way. But how's he going to go into the pits? He's not going to be able to. He's going to have to follow suit. And yes, they're both going in. Racewell as well. All three. And there's Finbob. So keep an eye on Finbob. Keep an eye on Damien Corral.
Yeah, so Finbob into the pits then. Where is Damien on track? He's just about to cross the start-finish line then. There's going to be a quick race down towards that first corner. It's going to be Damien that's going to take the first corner in P1. The early stop pays dividends for him, as it's Finbob now in second. His tyres are going to be ice cold, though. He might find himself under pressure from the two Red Bulls, who now find themselves 6 and 8 tenths. The gaps between those two cars up to Finbob. As Talentless takes P6 from Felix.
Yeah, great battling there. Really good battling there. And we've also spun around again, and that's Lurch. He spun around on those hards. Not having the best of races compared to last week, so probably not one of his favourite ones. He is going to continue, or he may go. See, he is on those hards at the moment, but Finbob has done a great job, I tell you. Even though he's come out right behind, but he's come right out in front of the Red Bulls as well. They went earlier, so pretty good job by Finbob there, going the longer stretch and keeping in P2, and he's getting pretty close to Damien, but is he going to be able to bring in that gap? He is on the fresher tyre, one fresher. ETA Azam doesn't seem to get the job done at the moment, but Finbob is going to have to get a move on, because Azam is going to have the DRS, and he will get very close to Finbob and even probably get past and make the move, as you can see.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is going to be difficult for Finbob to try and defend. I think he is burning it up in front at the moment, and he does. But the DRS is definitely going to change things up very quickly, as we do see Finbob nearly a second, 1.2 behind Damien now.
Yeah, 1.2, but he has closed that gap by half a second. So it was 1.7, it's down to 1.1 now. But he's going to be under some severe pressure from Azam. Azam's really just kind of pushing him along now through these corners as we get down towards Sector 2 and the long left-hand loop. Finbob is closing that gap now. Will he be able to get in the DRS of Damien before we get round to Sector 2? He can. He can get in that. So before we get to that DRS zone, he is going to be within DRS range. So we've got a four-way battle on our hands yet again, SJ. 4 cars out in front, a Williams, a Merc, and 2 Red Bulls. Going to make the last 9 or 10 laps of this race incredibly interesting.
Yeah, and we're going to probably play switcheroo with Finn. But the problem is Damien has seriously got a lot more DRS. He's actually got double percentage more than Finn, 65 to 38%. But the DRS is definitely going to come out, and Lurch is for this. So disappointing race for him. So that's unfortunate. But Finbob getting very, very close to Damien. Damien has no defence in front. So it's all about managing his ERS and defending as much as he can. But we've seen how quick Finbob has been in this race. And he is going to get... Look at that. He had 4 different people there get the fastest lap. And ET8 Paul has done really well this race compared to last week. Obviously, he was just staying in behind his teammate. And he's still staying there. And this is a great job for Red Bull. And they'll be over the moon. Can they get both of those cars in P3 and P4 both on the podium? Because at the moment it's just ET8 Azam sitting on the podium. As Finbob gets very, very close to Damien. Damien seems to be making a few mistakes at the moment. The pressure is getting to him. 17 left over 25. Finbob going to engage in a second. He's got 50% ERS to Damien's 76. He seems to be the quicker car on those fresher tyres. It's only 1 lap, mind you, but Azam is waiting for the mistake to happen, and I'm sure we're going to see an overtake happen very, very shortly. Just about to come up very second in 3, 2, 1. Does he get closer? Is he going to get the move? I'm sure he will. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah, it is really hotting up here on lap 17 of 25 at Jeddah, the Corniche circuit here in Saudi Arabia. 2 Red Bulls chasing down a Mercedes and a Williams out in front. DRS at the 4. It's going to be Finbob down the inside towards the final turn, then closely followed by now Damien and ETN Azam and ET8 Paul down towards that final turn. The Mercedes does come out on top in that little tussle. 1/10 between 2 drivers, though, as we're going to go down. Are we going to get 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide, down to turn 1, as the 2 Red Bulls both engage? The Williams of Damien retakes the lead, but it's ETA Azam in second place on the inside of that turn. Takes P2 from Finbob. Mercedes sandwiched now between the 2 Red Bulls down in towards turn 3, 4, as they go through the rather testing and insane section of the track in Sector 1. Which has claimed a couple of victims already tonight. SJ, fantastic racing that from our 4 leaders. I've seen things like that happen and things terribly come out of it, but those 4 guys handled that really well.
Oh, they did. The traction on ET8 coming out of that. Nearly biting my fingernail because ET8 was inches away from going into the corner and hitting into the wall so close, and he just had to step back a bit, and it was great play there because of stream off Finbob, and here we go. ETA could actually he had DRS now on the Finbob going to go for the slipstream as well. He's going to keep pretty close. ET8 Paul just falling back a little bit. Azam going to engage and probably try and take the lead as well. It's getting very, very excited. This is getting really exciting as well. ETA, the move done. Seems to get... Oh, there's a little bit up there from Damien. And that has maybe caused the lose. Yes, it has, because ETA Azam is going to come down from the Finbob is going to get the slipstream first corner. No, he doesn't. And ETA Paul still stays in P4. But Azam has gone from P3 to P1 in 1 lap.
Yeah, incredible stuff that. Again, I think we'll see throughout the course of the last few laps of this race, we'll see the lead exchange hands several times. And all the while these guys are utilising DRS to overtake each other, they're actually pulling away from Talentless, who's got Slapbus for company in P6. Talentless has also got a penalty, by the way. We'll have a quick look to see what that is. Just 3 seconds. The other penalties so far for the day are crowding. on 6 seconds. We'll just give him a little bit of airtime. He's close, making a move on stretch. Last week's race winner, of course, and gets the move done in plenty of time before turn 1 to pick up P11. Not a point scorer, though. 1 second behind Ultra Titan, who's in the points at present. 28 seconds in the Alfa Romeo off the back of our second Williams, which is TTM JT. Back out in front, then, we see the continuing drama unfolding with Damien in the Williams, 2/10 to the good over over Finn Bob, who's 2/10 to the good over ET8 Paul, 8/10 to the good over 8/10 to the good, beg your pardon. But we're going to see a move. We're going to see a move, are we? Not quite seeing a move down into that final turn yet again. But I think we're going to see some drama. 3 of those cars are going to be side by side, I think, as we head into turn 1.
Great move there, Damien. Just going to make the move, and we've all got moves going on in P5, 6, and 7 as well. So there's moves happening all over the place at the moment. Damien does take the lead back, though. ET8 down in P2, Finn Bob down in P3. But look at this. We've got
Side by side.
Phoenix 1 shape, Slap Plus, Racewell, and Talentless all is really starting to heat up. Look at this. You've got P7, P5, P6, P7, and P8 battles now. Oh, great action at the moment. Talentless does have that penalty, though, so that is Racewell are getting very squarely there coming out. Then you've got Slap Plus, who's 1.1 second now behind Phoenix. Phoenix 1 seems to really want to pull away from these guys at the moment. But battles happening left, right, and centre. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, lovely battles up and down the track. That's what we like to see on Thursday nights here in WOR Console Tier 3. And as we head back up to the front, speaking of battles, then we've got Azam all over the back of that Williams of Damien Correa. Down towards the final DRS zone we go then. Here it is. Wing's going to be wide open. He's looking like he's going to make an inside line move. Yes, gets the job done. I think Damien may well have played the sensible game there and let him through, but which means he's going to be under pressure from the Mercedes of Finn Bob, but he's also going to pick up DRS on Azam now. So it's going to be his turn to try and make a move down into turn 1. He's going to be under pressure from Finn Bob, though, in that Mercedes. ET8 Paul just dropping ever so slightly off the back, but maintaining enough to keep himself in the mix as Damien now exchanges the lead yet again. Williams, Red Bull, McLaren, Red Bull. That's your order. Lap 21 of 25 here at Jeddah. It's going to be a crazy last 5 laps. Make sure you stay tuned. And if you haven't already, please make sure you like the stream tonight. And, yeah, if you want some people that you know to get involved, make sure you invite them over, because this is going to be a crazy last 5 laps, AJ.
Yeah, it is. And I'm just wondering what Paul's going to do, because now, and is he going to make a move, or is he just going to cement that position? Because it looks like that P4 is his. He is 8.8 seconds behind Phoenix 1 at the moment. So Phoenix 1 has got a bit of a train behind him as well. With Racewell, Slap Bus, and Talentless all going up to it, but we're going to see another move engage again. ETA Azam, and this is really starting to get interesting. What is Finn Bob going to do here? Does he change his strategy? Does he stay behind? Does he slipstream? Does he get a better exit? This is going to be the question, because how do you get past these guys and how do you stay in front? That is the question, because at the moment it seems each lap Finn Bob getting for the slipstream there, getting a very good slipstream on Damien's going to go for the move into great exit there, gets the move done. Damien now into P3 positions from P1 to P3, but Damien is now going to get back on. These two must do they. Finn Bob does. Damien does acceleration in the tank of that wheel. Let's Finn Bob continue. Finn Bob now 3.5 tenths behind. We're running, but we're going all the way down to P5, one who was in front, so he's now dropped down in P6. Slap Boss very, very close as well, and Talentless. This is going to the wire. I have no idea who's going to. It's either going to be ET8, Finn Bob, or Damien. Is ET8 Paul going to score the party? And I have no idea who's going to be finished between P5, 6, and 7, and 8, because it's getting intense as well. Battles happening left, right, centre, Andy. 4 laps to go, or 3 laps to go.
Yeah, some great racing action here between the top 4, and then from P5 down to P8, like you say. Even with penalties, it's good to see Talentless still driving hard, trying to get himself up on track to finish in some of those higher positions. Some of the gaps are a little bit bigger. Oh, a mistake from ET8 Paul there. Made a little mistake. Now he's 8/10 off the back of Damien. Still going to have DRS, obviously, down this main straight. Just wondering here, we talked last week about ERS management. So ERS management is important. Damien has 95% battery remaining on lap 22 of 25. We're going to see a tight battle yet again, no doubt, down towards turn 1. And the first little chicane, which has caused a couple of issues throughout the course of the early stages of the race for some of our mid-pack runners. A little twitch from the Mercedes of Finn Bob as he goes through relatively cleanly. But the gaps are maintaining. Not too much pushing, it would seem. Are the guys now realising that if they just kind of sit in the positions that they're in right now and wait 2 more laps, that's when they're going to be fighting for those 3 podium steps? We don't know who's going to be on the podium, never mind who's going to be on the top step of the podium yet.
No, we don't. And we've just seen here on lap 23 that they made it here. So obviously, yeah, we can see here they're gaining all of that ERS. As you can see, Damien 100% ERS, Finbob 89, Adam 75. So he is going to come under extreme pressure when these guys fire that battery, and they will be firing that battery in the last lap. Can ET8 Paul do to stop that? He did have that little bit of a snap, but he is 8.5-10, still in the DRS though, so he will get closer, and they will get even closer as well. But Finbob gets even closer to ET8. They're just staying within each other, even though he had about lead. So as you can see, the speed, the DRS is so powerful in Sector 3, and Damien getting them well. But we're coming up onto lap 24, and what's going on here as well, because Felix 1 is now going to get past Race Roller. Looks like he's going to go for the move on the outside as well. Slapbus just staying with them. Talentless does have that penalty, so he is really unfortunate. He will drop down to P9, but will only drop 1 place. But there we go again, more changes. Damien has going to make the move. Bob Azam, looks like there's moves happening. Get in front of Felix 1, and more drama again, and Damien down to P3, Finbob into P2, ET8 still there, Paul in P4, and Azam in P1. I'll let you take away this, as you took the last one last week, so we should have tonight.
Yeah, interesting this week. Obviously, last week's winner, EPL Stretch, down in P12. He's not going to be able to impact this battle for the top step of the podium. Last week's second place driver, and obviously leading the constructors in the Red Bull, is ETA Azam leading the way then down towards the second of our DRS zones. He's going to be under pressure, is he, from Finbob as they drive and fly down towards that tight left-hander, which leads to DRS zone 3. And a little bit of a mistake there from Adam. Cuts the corner. That might have been a warning, but it's Damien who's going to be on the rear end of Finbob then, down towards the final turn. Beautiful camera angle, but it's going to be Finbob to take the lead of the race. Are we going to see Damien make the move as well on the inside? He's making the move. Is he going to be able to make it stick on the final turn? He's not. ETA Azam still keeps himself out in P2. But he's going to be under immense pressure as they get down and start the final lap of this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Azam out in front, Finbob, Damien, ETA Paul on the back of him. But it's ETA Azam claiming front spot through turns 1 and 2. Burning a little bit of his battery to try and get himself out in front that little bit more. Still plenty of battery. Finbob with 97, 98% battery now. I think we're going to see one heck of a Sector 3 here. Never mind last lap, but Sector 3 is going to be pretty wild as we head down that long back stretch, SJ.
Yeah, here we go. The last one. This is a Coronation Street, EastEnders, or any soap up. Turn it off and get 5 at 25, because ETA Azam, I think he knows he does not have in the bag. These guys behind him are going to be extremely quick, and here comes one more DRS, and as you can see, ETA trying to gain as much traction as he can to get to the back of Finbob. Finbob and Damien are ready to pounce. As you can see, Damien Carriel has to go for it now. We're on the final lap. DRS has been enabled. Damien Carriel is right behind Azam, firing everything he can. Finbob is firing everything he can. And does he make the move? Yes, he does. Does Finbob try going side to side, then wheel to wheel. It's going to go to the line. It's crossing the line. It's
Oh my God!
By 0.04. What a finish! Back to you, Andy.
That is an incredible finish then, as less than a tenth cover the top 3 drivers on the podium. Is going to be ETA Azam, last week's pole sitter, last week's second place driver. He takes victory tonight by 400ths of a second. Damien in the Williams holds off the Mercedes of Finn Bob by also exactly the same margin, 400ths of a second. And at 88 Paul, he was a spectator for that last sector 3, 5/10ths off the back of the Mercedes. But what a final last lap. What a final last sector. As we said at the start of that lap 25, it was going to be a crazy lap. It turned out to be just that. What a close finish. I don't think I've ever seen in league racing the top 3 guys separated by less than 1/10th, especially when we've had no full safety cars, SJ. What a race.
God, just great, isn't it? WOR Q3 does not disappoint, and this is how do you guys have no idea. Imagine 20 races with these guys. Absolutely phenomenal. Driver of the day, Slap Bus. He did a really good job in that mid-pack. But yeah, no, fantastic race. It was very good to see. And obviously we had mixed conditions as well, from rain earlier on, and then going into the dry. What a battle! I didn't think ETA put that on, but he did. Damien Carriel though, fastest lap with a 1:29.73, and Finn Bob there obviously takes away in that P3. But no, so close to the end there. ETA Paul though did very well, just stayed in that P4 position. Did lose a couple of positions started, so that's a shame there, but no, still consistent for the Red Bull. But what a race between those top 4. Absolute phenomenal. And for the rest of the guys as well, all the way down. 10 great battles there. Not the weekend for the McLarens though, Andy.
No, it certainly wasn't the weekend for the McLarens, but there's your final classification then. It is ETA Azam, the Red Bull, who claims the race win tonight, followed by Williams Racing's Damien Correa, Finn Bob in the Mercedes, the Red Bull of ETA Paul. Those were the standout top 4 tonight. We've then got the Alpine of Felix One, who eventually claimed P5, Race Roller P6, Alfa Romeo Slapbus P7, the driver of the day, TTM JT in the Williams P8, P9 was Talentless, P10 last week's race winner, of course, was Stretch in the McLaren, Ultra Titan P11, P12 crowding 13 Nail, Lurch in P14, the first of our guys that DNF'd, and everybody else DNF'd. 2 of the guys obviously crashed towards the beginning of the race, but everybody else seemed to retire in the pits, I think. But what a fantastic race. Interesting for us to kind of get those guys in the interview room when we can. Whilst we're just waiting to get those interviews kicked off, guys, let's just have a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you so much. We'll see you again very shortly for the post-race interviews. There we go then, guys. What a race. Thank you so much to our sponsors. That's Next Level and, of course, Grid Finder. I'm sure you picked up enough information from those adverts there with Next Level and Grid Finder to understand who they are and what they're all about when it comes to sim racing. And, we're just waiting for to see if we can get some of these guys in for some interviews. And when we do... we're going to ask him some questions around how that race went for him, because, quite frankly, I don't think I've seen a race like that in sim racing for some time, where our top 3 drivers, SJ, finished within 1/10 of each other. Crazy stuff.
I have seen closer, but no, honestly, there was some lovely battle, and obviously at a track where obviously we know that the DRS is extremely powerful in that sector, and obviously great to see that as well, and Etiasm as well, fantastic to keep hold of that, because he was the one leading that, and everyone behind. If you're leading that on the last lap of the DRS, you're normally the one that loses out, because it's so powerful for the guys from behind. But
yeah,
great defending, great battling, and yeah, I'll take my hat off to all the drivers tonight. That was some serious racing.
Yeah, some really
especially
good stuff.
to the top 4.
Some really good stuff. I think the driving from those 4 guys in particular out in front to keep. There were a couple of mistakes, but this is sim racing. There are going to be some mistakes, but I think they dealt with the mistakes that they made perfectly well. Managed to maintain position on track, and Lord only knows how many overtakes that we saw throughout the course of that 25 laps. Yeah, 25 laps, wasn't it? Yeah, Lord only knows how many overtakes we saw between those 4. But it was some seriously good racing, and have we managed to get any of the guys in the box?
Yeah, they're in there waiting for the box. They're waiting to be put.
Right then, let's get Finbob in. Then let's move in. We're in comms box 2, aren't we? So there we go. And Finbob, good evening to you, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. I'm just going to turn you up ever so slightly.
All good?
Yeah, there we go. Right then, so yes, the Mercedes of Mr. Finbob. Just talk to us then. That was a wild race from our point of view. How did it look from where you were sat?
Oh, tell me about it. Well, the rain spiced things up, shall we say.
Sure.
Didn't expect that coming into this, but held my own. Drove on. The crossover could have been done a little better. We went a lap too late, but is what it is. Managed to get straight back into DRS, so wasn't too bad. And then just didn't use DRS for about an hour straight until DRS chicken happened. But game's the game. That's kind of how F1 works these days.
Yeah, for sure it was. Myself and SJ were saying that we've not seen a race that's finished that close and that tight. Obviously, with less than 1/10 between first, second, and third combined. First time for me, certainly. I've seen some close finishes on my time, but not like that. Are you overall? Are you happy with the race, or are you disappointed with where you finished up in the end?
Disappointed with the result, but pace and everything was really good, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I agree. It was superb to see some of that stuff. Give me 1 second. I'll figure out where we are next week.
Imola, I believe.
Did you say Imola?
Yep.
Imola next week. So how do you feel about Imola?
I did a race there a few weeks back. Wasn't too bad, so podium again, hopefully.
Good. Sounds like you're very confident. And hopefully it doesn't rain again for you. SJ, any questions?
Agreed.
Yeah, sometimes a few, but I won't talk too much, because obviously we've got the other 2 in there. But Finbob, that was a serious good race between you, Az, and Damien. A few mistakes in the wet, a few snaps, but you kept it very, very close to the back of Damien and the back of Azam. and it just seemed to be that everyone kept changing positions. Did you think that you could get the job done on that last lap? Because normally the car in front is the one that normally loses out. He managed to defend massively well. Can you tell us about the last lap? What was the plan?
Well, I was in P3, which I guess isn't ideal, but also never puts you out of it. But into the last corner, I tried to back out of it and get a switchback, but I ended up going deep anyway. So I kind of just ruined it for me. But the run to the line was fun. I think we were like 3 wide across it, so can't complain. GG's to them.
No, it was very impressive, mate. And I would be huffing and panting after that race because that was some exhilarating stuff right near the end. So, yeah, congratulations on that P3 and looking forward to seeing what you can do. As we didn't see you last week, we've seen you this week. So, can't wait to see what you can do in Imola next week, mate.
Thank you, boys.
Yeah, well done, mate. Congratulations. See you next week.
Cheers.
Right then, we are next up. We are bringing in Damien. In he comes. Damien, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. How are you?
Yeah, very well. The first question I've got for you this evening is, how do I pronounce your surname?
Oh, it's you say like Damien.
Damien, but what about the second name?
Oh, Curiel.
Curio.
Yeah.
Curio. Okay, I almost got it right. We had a minor struggle there with names halfway through.
Oh.
But yeah,
It's always a
congratulations.
struggle. Thank you.
Congratulations on your P2 in the Williams. Just talk us through. We've just been talking to Finn Bob, of course, and what a fantastic finish to the race that was. Just talk us through your experience tonight and how do you feel about the race and did it go to plan for you?
Yeah, it was actually a good race. Qualifying, I did it well. I was P3. At the end, I missed the whole last corner, so that was really frustrating, of course, because I've lost a lot of time. But the rain was so much fun. I never drove. I think no one drove Jeddah in the rain, so it was a good experience. But it was fun. There were like in my perspective, there was not like a lot of carnage or dirty stuff happening. It was just good racing, and then at the end, I had side to side with Azem in the last corner, and then I got a little bit of a tap, and that costed me the win. But we take it, P2. I already talked with him that it was not his fault at the end. So.
Oh, good. Well, glad that you've had a nice civil conversation between drivers. One thing I do like about WOR is that there seems to be a lot of respect both on track and off track as well. So congratulations to you again, my friend.
Thank you.
Just in terms of that final lap, then, what were your thoughts heading into that final sector, if you will?
Don't crash. No.
That's a good thought.
It was like, I was thinking like, I was more in my head like, all right, am I going to overtake him before the last corner or after? But I was like, I have to do before because I had Finn behind me as well, so I had to do it like last corner.
Yeah.
And it almost worked, but we take P2. It was my debut as well, so I'm really happy with P2.
Yeah, congratulations on a podium on your debut. Good stuff. SJ, over to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm probably going to repeat myself, Bob, but Damien, mate, that was a very impressive time in qualifying as well. So congratulations on that. But what was it like how were the nerves on that? Because you were probably in the driving seat and you thought, well, you had so much ERS, but Azem just fantastic defending. Like, take us through how you were going to take that.
Yeah, I know at last I had a lot of ERS in the last lap. And I was like, all right, I have really a chance of winning this. And then it didn't came out I didn't came out on P1. But what I said, I'm happy. It was my debut. I really enjoyed the racing. It was fun. It was clean, and good experience as well in the rain. And I'm really happy with P2. So I take it.
No, yeah, well, you've got to, especially because anything can happen.
Yeah, true.
and you try and bomb it down there, and he hits you, and then it could be a 3-car pile-up. But no, fantastic race, exhilarating for us, exhilarating for us, and what you can do next week in Imola.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I will try to do maybe get P1 that race, but we will see how it.
No
how it will
pressure.
go.
No pressure, my friend.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you so much.
Congratulations, Damien. Well done.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, you too, buddy. You too.
Thank you.
And that takes us on to our winner. Let's bring him in. Here we go then. No, he dipped in and he dipped back out again. So I've moved him in when we've lost him.
Oh, we actually have lost him, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's okay. We can wait a couple of seconds. See if we can get him back in.
Don't know if we're going to get the leader in 2 weeks, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate because I think after last week, that might have just been a little bit of frustration last week. I was looking forward to speaking to him this week to ask him a couple of questions about that. But not to worry. SJ, just we'll wait a couple of seconds and just kind of review, summarise tonight's race. I think from a spectacle point of view, I think the guys have done an extremely good job. Oh, is he here? Is he?
You can bring him over now. You should be able to bring him over.
Okay,
He's in the waiting.
Move to comms box 2. And it's kicked him
He's
again.
gone again.
Weird.
Doesn't like him. It doesn't like him.
It doesn't like him.
WOR Discord does not, unfortunately.
No.
Even though he just won the...
Azam is destined never to be interviewed.
I can't join.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
that is unfortunate.
He
Well,
just
not to
insanely
worry.
leaves again. Oh, he's back in. Let's see if we can get him in one more time.
Do you want to try and drag him over?
How do I do it? I'm on my phone.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we go in there? I'm going to go in there.
Okay. I don't know if it'll work, will it?
We're about to find out.
Alright. You go in there.
Azam.
Yo, hello?
Hello. Finally we speak. Tried to drag you over a couple of times and it didn't quite work there, so sorry about the technical glitch. But let's get to the crux of the matter. After not speaking to you last week, possibly because of a bit of frustration at Bahrain, this week you stand upon the top step of the podium after driving that Red Bull like crazy to grab yourself a win here at Jeddah. Just talk us through how you feel for the last 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean it's been an amazing race, of course, with those 4, and yeah, I mean it was just so close, and it was not easy to drive in the intercondition. And yeah, when it got dry, it was just DRS, just played smart until the last lap, and just a close finish, just like the race.
Yeah, crazy finish. I don't know whether you saw the timings or not, but yourself, Damien and Finbob were less than 1/10 apart combined as you crossed the line. 46 thousandths between you and P2, and then 46 thousandths between P2 and P3. Crazy finish. What were your thoughts on that final lap? Just walk us through that final lap.
Yeah, on lap 24, I didn't even realize we had 2 laps remaining. But I still had like 80 DRS or something, so I was still chilling on the last lap, and then just tried to get a good run in the last sector, and just tried to finish ahead.
Yeah, well, you did an absolutely fantastic job to hold to hold Damien and Finn Bob off there at the end. Did you have any strategy in place when the crossover period came? What were your thoughts around the crossover?
Yeah, I thought like maybe an undercut, and yeah, it actually worked. But yeah, when it was still a crossover. Like it wasn't easy when you were on the dry tires, and it was still really wet on the track. Like it was, I think, for 6 laps when we pitted to the mediums. It was like still really wet.
Yeah, for sure. It did look like once that 4, 5 or 6 laps had gone place, people were setting fast lap after fast lap. I think you actually picked up the fast lap of the race in the end as well, which is
no, Damien got it.
Oh, Damien got it in
just
the end.
by.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, just by a couple of hundreds.
Wow. Okay. Well, even so, some cracking laps put in by all 4 of you guys towards the back end there. Your teammate finishing P4 as well. Shame he couldn't get on the podium, but another great showing from the constructors' leaders in the Red Bulls.
Yeah. That's of course teammate also P4. I know he also had good pace for a podium. But yeah, I haven't really practiced much for this one. Like for Bahrain, I practiced pretty much, and now I just did 2 lobbies before the quali started. Yeah, just tried to get it done in the race.
Well, there you go. It shows that practice doesn't always pay off, and just hopping in after a little bit of muscle memory after a couple of lobbies beforehand works. SJ, over to you.
Yeah, Aslan, mate, congratulations on winning, mate. Obviously, last week, very, very close between you and Lurch last week. But this week, obviously, it went completely the right way. It was a fantastic race. You were in P3 for quite some time within that battle with Finn Bob and Damien. What's it like with the patience game? Because we see in this game that there has to be a lot of patience. You know, you've got to time. You've got to time your maneuvers. You've got to time your pit stops, you know, and obviously the wet conditions that change things up. We saw your teammate go in first. What's it like, and how much patience did you have to get to where you wanted to be right at the end of this race?
Yeah, the patience is, you really need much patience. Like, just, yeah, how should I say it? Like, just stay in the DRS, and when you see like the opportunity to get ahead without using any ERS, basically, just go and then just play it smart and don't do anything stupid. Just don't use too much ERS. Just keep it cool. Yeah, well, that is easier said than done, especially when you've got 2 cars right behind you on the last lap, and you were the car in the lead. Did you think that you were going to lose the lead, or were you quite confident that you were going to be able to keep that on that final lap, especially when Damien behind had around about 100% ERS, and he was going to absolutely burn going down that main straight? How did you feel on that last lap? Yeah, I really didn't know who was gonna cross the line first. It was really close. I also had 60 ERS in the last sector. I had a really good run in sector 3, so I think I had a chance there, but he tried to brake as late as possible so he will get a good exit. But I just tried to stay just on his inside on the exit there, and then got the DRS and then finish ahead.
Well, you did absolutely fantastic, and it was an absolutely exhilarating race, and for the audience and for us as well. And you guys have been doing phenomenal. You've been up there in qualifying, you've been up there in the race. Red Bull seem to be the team to watch out for, and congratulations, mate. Definitely well deserved. Great defending on that last lap, and looking forward to seeing what you can do and see if you can make it the 1-2 in Imola.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, of course I will try it.
Good stuff, mate. Congratulations. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings to a close our interviews. Well done to all the guys standing on the podium, of course, to Azam for standing on the top step. And congratulations to everybody, certainly everybody who finished the race. There was some decent fighting up and down the grid throughout the course of that race. Next week, of course, we're going to head over to Imola, over in Spain, for more fast racing and more shenanigans. That will obviously change the standings that I've still got up there. But SJ, have you got any closing comments for us tonight?
Yeah, mate, it was exhilarating. Obviously, conditions, you don't never see Saudi Arabia wet, so yeah, that's an unusual one for me. It's the same with Bahrain, seeing that wet, but no, a really good race. Obviously Red Bulls are the ones to watch out for at the moment. You can see that they work very, very well together. Not the weekend for the McLaren, they're probably going to want to forget that, but we definitely can see that there is some seriously talent in there in that top five, and it could change each week. Imola's going to be a very difficult track going into next week, especially turn one. It's a hard left, hard right, and then a hard left again. So that's going to be very, very interesting. There's a very powerful DRS section there right from the beginning. And it's not one of my favourite tracks, but I'm sure if these guys, Finn Bob, Damien and Azam drive like they did tonight, I'm sure we're going to have some serious racing for the rest of the season in WOR.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Magnificent 2 first races of the season in this, which is season 17 here at WOR in the console tiers. Next week with Imola, one of my favourite tracks to try and drive. I wouldn't suggest I'm ever particularly successful there. However, I think it's going to be one heck of a race with hopefully, again, more different people involved. Damien, after his debut podium tonight, I guess tonight a little bit of Red Bull redemption after possibly feeling that they were going to take the win last week. We head over to Italy. We head to a pretty quick track with a couple of tricky little chicanes. So downforce, the balance between downforce and frontline speed will be evident there, I'm pretty sure. SJ, thank you so much for your company tonight. Congratulations again to our drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is us at WR. We are out. Good night from me and good night from SJ. Say good night, SJ.
Good night.
Good stuff, guys. Take care. We'll see you again very, very soon. There you go, mate. Clean, no hot mics. Yeah, I did it last week. Last week you said, yeah, good night. Oh, man. Oh, race. Yeah, it was crazy. That final third sector, we knew that third sector. Yeah, that's fine by me. That's fine by me. When all you three guys, when you three guys were that close together, I was getting the car names wrong, the driver names wrong. I was all over the show. You guys don't be so close. Don't be so close next week. Good stuff. Right, guys. I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna go and end the stream.